1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Good morning, guys.
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report, fourth hour of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show stream. Thank you, Jesse. You can catch Jesse's show via jlptalk.com and my show via thehakereport.com. Live in the fourth hour of Jesse's show, Monday through Friday, and then on my channels, Sundays, 9 a.m. Pacific time, Sunday through Friday. It's Tuesday, August 27th, 2019, and I want to talk about whites becoming a minority a little bit, but also about how evil Bernie Sanders is. He's so evil and phony, he's pretending to swoop in and save journalism, right? Typical socialist, wants to make a bad thing worse. And then Johnson & Johnson was ordered, I talked about this in the news reports on the Hake News of the beginning of the Jesse Lee Peterson show, that Johnson & Johnson has been sued and lost and ordered to pay $500-something million for their role in the opioid crisis. They should be ordered to pay that much for bad advertisements against men and whites and Christians, I think. As I recall, they had a nasty ad, and I Googled it, can't find it. But maybe some of you may remember, but they have been anti-male, kissing up to the women and LGBT, if I remember correctly. All kinds of stuff. But they have a role in the opioid industry because they're such a big company that they're getting blamed for people overdosing on drugs, which they don't seem to want to blame the users. They only want to blame the pushers. They should be blaming both. That's one thing that I didn't like about the drug war. The drug war, they were attacking drug dealers, but not drug buyers. You have to blame them. You have to deal with them. But they don't really they don't really give real solutions. They give fake solutions. Evil people can't call out evil properly. And then I loved how the leaders of the so-called G7, group of seven, globalist seven, let's call it, were all smiles and dancing around and having to accommodate President Trump, who just pushes his way and disagrees with them and is an example of an independent mind. He doesn't go along with the mess that these socialist, globalist, so-called democracies push, such as France, such as Japan. I think Great Britain is probably involved, all these other countries. They kicked out Russia. Trump wants to bring Russia back in, maybe so that he can yell at them and make deals, because Russia hasn't been perfect either. And I'm not sure, too, by the way, side note, how I feel about President Putin, or whatever his name is, whatever title he has, Russian President Vladimir Putin. He seems like a nationalist for his country. I guess that's okay, but he is not well liked in Ukraine, at least according to one person that I know, and he's not well liked among Christians or trusted, because there are Russian Christians here who say that under him they are persecuting the Jehovah's Witnesses, which it is a cult, right? But it's not real Christianity. But then again, most of Christianity is not real Christianity. Most Christians are not real. But anyways, he's going after them, and then he thinks this guy that I talked to, a Russian guy, came to America, feels that Putin is going to be expanding, and he plays, according to him, he plays politics, plays, what type of Christian are they? Eastern Orthodox or something like that. I'm like, I thought that Putin was an Eastern Orthodox Christian and goes to church. He said, when Putin goes to church, everyone goes to church. So I'm not sure what kind of a guy this Putin really is. But not too much of my concern because I have President Trump. And he's pretty transparent about who he is. It's nice. And Trump disagrees with the G7 people about China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, climate change. He doesn't give the climate change thing any play, which I love. Very nice to see. Only the radicals are pushing the climate change, which is becoming the mainstream media pushing the climate change nonsense. So, let me touch briefly on whites becoming a minority because I have a feeling that once I get to calls, I may get carried away and never get to it. So, Pew reports that 109 counties have become majority non-white, meaning non-Hispanic, white. Because when they say white, that can include both Hispanic whites and non-Hispanic whites. But for this purpose, they're talking about non-Hispanic whites, because there's a lot of Hispanics that consider themselves whites, or the FBI considers them whites when they commit crimes. So, this is if you're watching the video, you're looking at a graph showing heavy bubbles where there has been significant change in the population against the white people. I say against because this is really being perpetrated against white people. And as Bill Lockwood pointed out in the Jesse Lee Peterson show, it's about white people tend to cling more to the Constitution, vote for sanity, vote for Republicans, and vote for conservatives. And there's a whole lot of rhinos and Democrats and the media that don't like that. They don't like white people for that. So they want to make whites a minority and think that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Unrelenting stream. I'm imitating Joe Biden with my raspy voice. I still have kind of lost my voice from yelling at Antifa on Saturday at the Straight Pride rally. But Joe Biden, in I think 2012 or 2013, I came across the original footage. It's on C-SPAN. I can share that out if you guys like. But he said, we need an unrelenting stream of immigrants. Unrelenting. And whites are going to become a minority. And that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. I'm going to be a minority. And see, he's so dumb. But part of the point is that whites are more sane. They don't fall for the socialism stuff. They don't fall for the globalism stuff so much. They don't fall for the social justice stuff, which is injustice, really, against real justice. So, here are some counties. San Diego County, that became majority non-white in the last 18 years, since 2000 to 2018. From when George W. Bush was elected, to our discredit, I guess, but we didn't like Al Gore either, right? And then to 2 years into President Trump's presidency, or a year into it anyways. San Diego County, Orange County, Riverside County, Sacramento County. Those are all in California, and I think of them as being fairly white, but not so anymore. Hispanics have been taken over. Clark County in Nevada, that includes Las Vegas. Broward County, Florida, that's where that mass shooting was. Tarrant County, Texas. Wayne County, Michigan, which includes Detroit, which is majority, black population is the largest non-white group. So whites are becoming a plurality. And Hispanics, Asians, and blacks are growing. Whites shrinking. It's whites' fault. But there's a lot of evil going against whites too. But it is whites' fault. Speaking of like men, we're not making babies. I know there's one guy who is a YouTuber. I listen to him, and he has made white babies, and he tries not to be a hypocrite. Like, he tries to speak out on things, but actually live it too. I'm speaking out on it, and I'm not living it, but I'm still saying it because, hey, it's the truth is the truth, right? So, hey, I'm not making white babies yet, but we'll see what happens. So it's crazy. Anyways, let me get to some callers, and then hopefully I'll get to rail on socialist Bernie Sanders with his phony solutions. He hates real journalism, and he likes the imitation activist type of journalism that kisses up to the so-called poor and bashes the rich, especially President Trump. What a fake. Meaning Bernie Sanders is a fake. Rose, first-time caller out of New Jersey. Rose, how are you?
Yes, good morning.
Hey.
I am a first-time caller. As a matter of fact, this is my first time listening to JPL.
JLP.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. I just have a few questions. As I was listening this morning, I heard a caller, and it had to do with Islam and, what he believed in.
Uh-huh.
And at the same time, I listened to Jesse's response. And I just wanted to get a little more on that. I'm not Muslim, and I don't consider myself Christian either.
Were you raised
Okay.
Christian?
I guess you could say I was, yes.
But not, like, your family wasn't that serious about it?
No.
Yeah. So what did you want to know about Islam?
Okay, I heard the caller, and he was trying to express, why he believed in Islam and why he, is a follower of Islam. And then at the same time, I heard Jesse. Jesse was saying that, hey, you need to get out of that. And, I didn't understand that, why he should get out of it. And that's his personal belief.
Oh, because beliefs aren't about personal stuff. That's like a worldly version of about religion. It's meant to pretend that Christianity is equal to all these other religions or so-called religions. Islam is more, from what I understand, it is more a political system. That's why you notice that most of these other religions, including Islam, are a bunch of liberals. When they come over here, they're a bunch of liberals. Yeah, there are some that are conservatives, Republicans. Maybe they're more rhinos. I don't know for sure. Some of them are quite conservative. Some of them listen to Jesse's show, and they're just stuck in that mindset still. But so it's not just personal. Yes, the individual has to come to the realization himself of what's true, right? But it's not just a personal belief. And if people are calling Jesse's show, he's kind of like an advice show. He gives good advice and feedback. And so he is right to urge the guy not to get into Islam, but to seek the truth and think for himself.
I don't think that was telling him, or maybe I misunderstood.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, when it comes to Islam or any other religion, which there are so many, I think you have 100.
Right, but Christianity is not just any other religion. That's the point.
Well, I tend to disagree with you. It is any other religion.
Yeah, that's why you don't see it. That's why you don't see the point.
No, well, I'm familiar with many religions, and I will say this, that this here country here that we live in, which is the United States, which I'm very happy to live in, I'm very thankful with the great God of this universe has placed me. Okay, his view, okay, I understand it perfectly, even though I don't follow Islam, and I do follow different some of the doctrines of Christianity. But at the same time, we got to remember that this country was built on which is the white religion. I mean, they actually formed slavery coming right out of the Bible. Okay, so whoever wants to justify
you think that Anglos formed slavery right out of the Bible?
No,
you don't think that slavery existed before the Bible?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I think that slavery actually goes back to the beginning of time, or biblical.
Pretty early
ancient.
on. Yeah.
Yes, it did. But at the same time, this is all before Christ, and you talk about Christ, which he came during the grace period. In other words, he bestowed grace on folks that will come to him and believe in Christ and in him, and you will be spiritually renewed by your mind and all of that. Okay, that's fine, if you believe all of that. But as I was a child, I remember this picture, and it's affixed in all of the Christians' minds, of this man, blonde hair, blue eyes, with pale skin.
Are you black?
And so to me, go ahead.
Are you black?
Yes, I am. Very,
Okay.
very black.
All right. Go on.
Okay. So, when it comes to me worshiping man, I thought it was a psychological move, in that this is what they want us to believe, that this particular man is who you are to follow, and you are to follow his ways and believe in him, and deny yourself and everything else, and to place him first. Now, when you speak about a lot of different
So let me just clarify your point, because you brought up how Jesus was depicted as a white man, somewhat, and
blue eyes.
yeah, I've never seen that. But anyways,
Are you serious? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 38. I've never seen a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus. So anyways, but I have seen him, like, not black. I've seen him, maybe sort of anglicized, I guess. But you guys fall for this thing where you think it was a psychological thing. But what does that have to do with you? Because you're in America today, which has nothing to do with having to follow any white man.
This is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know that every culture is going to cast whatever hero or son of God as like looking a little bit more like them. Who cares? Why?
Okay.
But you seem to think that that's a controlling thing, like a brainwashing thing to make blacks subjugate themselves to white people.
No, not at all.
But then why bring it up?
Okay, no, please listen to me. Okay.
All right.
What I am saying. Okay, what you said is very, very true. That different people, different nationalities that come from different countries, their beliefs are very different, and so that's why I said that the United States was built on Anglo-Saxon, and it's about white people, okay, being in superior positions. Okay, because you cannot be a white supremacist in that you don't you're not in control of policies and laws and regulations. If you are, then you can consider yourself a white supremacist, but otherwise you cannot. You can call yourself racist or whatever.
That's an interesting.
You cannot be a white supremacist and not.
Yeah, I wouldn't really get into that type of thinking, period, because it's actually like either you're a good leader or you're an evil leader. And yes, whites came from more of a Christian culture, more of a logical, protecting the rights of the individuals and the minorities, meaning minority populations, and that's meaning the colonies from the king and from the oppressive powers and from injustice. They had more of a justice mindset and a real justice mindset, not social justice, because a lot of blacks and others, and actually, all liberals misuse the word justice. So it wasn't necessarily, who cares? Yeah, they were white. What's your point about bringing that up, though? Because you're beating around the bush, and I have to go.
No, not at all. No.
Hurry up and make your point.
Okay, please don't speak to me like that.
All right, I have to go if you don't make your point, though, because...
Okay, my point is this. I listened to you today, and today is my first time, a lot of things that you speak on is not correct. The information that you're given is not
Give me
correct.
one example, and then I got to
For
go.
one example,
Yeah.
I'm going back to the Muslim. You had no right to say that he's
Of course wait.
religion.
Well, you're talking to James, not Jesse. But of course, Jesse has the right to say, yes, don't get involved with the Muslim thing. This is America. Of course he has the right to say that. Aren't you?
Well,
I thought you just said that
yeah.
you're proud to be an American and happy and God placed you here.
That has nothing to do with the religion that people pick to worship in this country. It has nothing to do with that. But my point is this. My point is that the young man that called in, he has every right to choose the religion in which
he has the right to choose, but Jesse has the right to give that advice.
Okay, yes, freedom of speech. Okay, I understand all that.
All right,
but at the same
Rose,
time, he's
I
very
appreciate
wrong
talking with
for
you.
saying that.
Rose, thank you for calling. Call me again tomorrow if you like. All right, take care. Bye. Sorry, guys, I went a little long with her. Beta. But I was trying to clarify where she was going, and then I realized, like, she's not going anywhere. Anyways, thank you, Rose. I appreciate that. It's nice. I appreciate you listening and calling in for the first time. That's cool. But I had to go, Next time, I'll force you to get to the point faster. That way I don't have to rush you at the very end. All right, Chris out of Arizona. How are you doing, Chris?
Hi, James. I'm great. How are you?
Nice to hear from you. Happy Men's History Month. It is the last week of it.
That's right. That's why I wanted to call, because last week of Men's History Month.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say that Jesse and you made history yesterday, and I loved watching the videos that you downloaded.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. Yeah,
You're welcome.
That was so fun, doing the Straight Pride Parade up in Modesto, California, and being
That's
part
right.
of history.
Whenever I think about it.
Yeah.
Whenever I think about it, I get excited and want to join in.
I know.
It's really great.
And wasn't that a nice call from, I think her name was maybe Vicky, Springtime, Thyme, YouTube listener, who was a former lesbian, as Jesse refers to them. And she was like, I have never participated in a gay pride parade, and I never will. And she quit being a lesbian and a couple of her friends got out too, because they saw the hatred coming from that side when it was supposed to be about love, they thought. But no, It's not. It's all about hate. All these people, it's just like Bernie pushing so-called truth, right? So-called journalism. These people push so-called love, but it's such fake love. Bernie's fake, and these people are fake. And they have it comes across as niceness, right?
Yeah.
And niceness is fakeness. It's not real love. It's actually hate, because it does a total disservice to the gays. The gays should be in the closet, overcoming, and seeking God rather than seeking sex or pretending that they're about love and seeking rights to be wrong. So it's crazy.
I agree. It's a little bit crazy. It's crazy in this world right now.
Yeah.
But, oh, shucks. What I was going to say just left me. I guess I wasn't supposed to say anything.
Well, I'm happy that the border is getting done. I know that you've reported on, your experience helping volunteer over there, and your sister's experience, or, somebody in your family.
Right.
Firsthand witnessing.
Actually, my sister in San Francisco wanted to come down to the rally.
Yeah.
/ parade. And but I was talking to her on Sunday about, she's like, I'm about to get in my car and go. I said, you can't. It happened yesterday.
Oh, man.
Black.
Oh, that's funny. You said she's black?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's awful. That would have been blonde.
Oh, she wanted to shake your hand, though.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Hand.
Yeah.
It would have been.
Well, we're
So,
going to
yeah,
do
the
it.
border,
We're going to plan to do it
they're
annually.
What?
We're going to plan to do it annually anyways. The man who founded the Straight Pride Coalition, Don Grundman, plans to do it next year and continue it, because
Well, if he does
makes a
do it
splash.
next year, she's going to show up.
Right on. That's good.
So about the border, well, they're going to make another detention center here in Bisbee. I don't know exactly where they're raising the tax, half a cent.
Okay.
And but it's going to be run by a different agency than who's running the detention center now. I don't really have all the information on it, but I just thought it was
well, I know that ICE contracts out because they're so overrun. It is a national emergency. I know that ICE contracts out to private companies to deal with the transportation and housing, bedding, and all this stuff. And then there's a push by Ted Cruz and others, or has been, to accept donations for diapers and all that madness. We should just be sending them right back, I wish. But unfortunately, we don't have that setup. And we have a whole lot of people fighting against sanity from inside the government. It's a shame. Including the judges. Ridiculous. They're activists.
I also want to thank you for getting me into politics. I was never interested in it because whenever I watched it on television or, news broadcasts and everything, I was like, gosh, I can tell they're lying. I can't stand watching this crap.
Yeah.
So I just completely separated myself from any politics, never voted.
Wow.
Didn't feel shame about it. You know how on the news they say, get out and vote. I'm like, well, I'm not informed enough to vote, so I'm not going to. Well, now I'm really getting into it and learning what my congresswoman believes. I don't like that blonde girl. I can't remember her name because I'm only just getting into politics. But I just want to thank you for
Christine
when
Cinema.
She talks, Cinema. When she opens her mouth, I just want to throw up.
Is Cinema straight?
What?
Is Cinema straight? Christine Cinema?
No, she's not. She claims to be that what's that acronym?
Bisexual. LGBT.
No, the LGBT thing. Yeah.
Okay.
See, I only just learned about that too. That's how behind the times I am.
Yeah.
So she claims to be that. She's beautiful. She looks really pretty. But when she talks, I'm like, it's all about what she says. It's all about going out to the people and hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
And she hears their sob stories. And this look of concern goes on her face. The fake compassion stuff goes in there.
Yeah.
Lord.
That is a shame.
And so the other one, do you know her name?
Out of Arizona?
For McCain. From Arizona. She took over for McCain.
Oh, okay.
She was not voted in. She lost to Sinema the first time.
Yeah.
And now she didn't get voted in. She took over McCain.
Okay.
So I got to make sure that I vote for her soon in the fall.
Yeah.
She comes up in the fall.
She
was a fighter pilot.
I heard about this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. I remember reading about that story, and she had a hashtag MeToo type of moment as a fighter pilot, I think, if I remember correctly.
Did she?
Or maybe she was just claiming some type of discrimination. These women in these places are always complaining about something.
They're always complaining about something, but it may be true. You don't know.
Yeah, there may be some truth to it, but they're always, somewhere where they're just meddling and creating mess. And the men are weak too, and I'm sure that there's injustice on all sides, right? But they shouldn't be there in the first place, to be honest. And so,
not in the. That's a tough one for me to really.
I'm just saying in general.
I don't think women
I don't have
a
a strong opinion about them helping out in like desk work or whatever. Maybe they have some skills that are useful to the military, but there's this push to put them in the place where they don't belong, and then there's this push it's really undermining white people who are having the least amount of babies, not staying home, and so that's partly why I push back against this. This push about women in the workforce. Trump falls for that stuff.
Not my mom.
I don't.
My mother was a Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
she worked in the Pentagon, desk work, as you say.
Right.
Gosh, so interesting, her stories that she used to tell me where when the soldiers would come back and give their report, they were like undercover, so they would put her in this room with no windows and a blind so that she couldn't see the soldier, and she had to type out everything he was saying. Saying that was happening in Vietnam. She got pregnant with my sister and I. Kathy is my twin sister. Oops, I said her name. It's okay that I did. She doesn't care. So we're twins, and she had to get out. They did not allow pregnant women. They allowed them to go finish their pregnancy.
Yeah.
But as soon as the pregnancy's over, you have to get out.
It's like women. It's like women hate nature. They hate science. They hate God. Like they get mad. Well, I don't know if your mother was mad, but people get upset because
mad.
they lose their career when they get pregnant. They don't feel that they should have to lose it every time they go out or have their job threatened because they have to go on leave. But it's like nature. Nature is
right. And what's happening now is the women that are getting pregnant in the Army.
Yeah.
They have to go overseas. They have to go wherever they have a choice. They're allowed to get out if they want to when they get pregnant. But they stay in the Army and they don't take care of their children like they're supposed to as mothers.
Yeah.
You know?
I appreciate it, Chris. Very good input. Very nice Men's History Month contributions.
You're welcome. I'm so happy about what you're doing. Okay, keep it up.
All right, take care. Scott out of Texas. Scott, how are you?
Doing well, James. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Hey, real quick, I want your opinion, and real quick while I'm on it, I've called your show a couple of times, and I was the guy that submitted this the song "The Fallen State" with our group Darwin last year, and you may not remember, it doesn't really matter, but I've called several times, and y'all have changed my life. But I wanted your opinion, because I think you and I see the world maybe through the same lens, so to speak.
Okay.
So to make a real short, quick story, last year my wife was diagnosed with a condition in her neck, spinal stenosis, and she had some slip disc, and so she's been in a lot of pain, and, yada, 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 and we've been dealing with it. But, I do the silent prayer every day and just thankful for everything that I have in my life, and I'm appreciative of that I even was able to have a good woman and all that. But sometimes I think to myself, it's egotistical to pray for her to be well, right? Because I don't really know what God's will is. But my question to you, because I respect your opinion, how should we really pray for others? Because the way I always do it, like I can't pray for the president, right? It's not going to be my will done. So I just always say out loud, God, your will be done, because I don't know what the outcome. So what is your opinion on how we should pray for others?
I think you have it, because I recommend you call Jesse on this. He has good advice. I've asked him before. He told me one time to pray for somebody, and I said, how do I do that? Because I've always prayed for people. And I've done the same thing as you and experience I don't know. And it's you becomes very self-serving. So definitely call Jesse on this. Or you can call him for counseling, private counseling. He does excellent counseling. And that may be a benefit to you and your wife.
Okay. So you kind of made me think of something, but that's it really, man.
Appreciate it, Scott. Happy,
have a good day, man.
Happy Men's History Month. It is the last week. Saturday is the last day of Men's History Month. So we got to squeeze all the meaning out of it that we can. Meaning, I guess.
Well, thank you so much. And staying back to you real quick, I bought that shirt. What's the shirt? Stop having sex out of wedlock.
Oh, okay.
And,
as opposed to Vegas.
Get some strange looks when you walk around town.
Yeah, that's a nice shirt, though. That's a good Men's History Month shirt. Returning back to standards, high standards. Appreciate it, Scott. Take care.
Man. Hey, have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right. Dylan out of Iowa. How are you, Dylan?
How you doing?
Doing fine. Nice to hear from you.
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you for finally getting that intro put in place.
Okay, cool. Right on. You're talking about the promo that Jesse and Joel played for me?
No, you know, that intro thing.
Oh yeah. Are you the one who did that? Sent that to me?
Yeah.
Okay, you're how do you say the group name again?
Chakro.
Chakro. Okay, cool.
Chakro Studios. If you Google Chakro, it'll come up.
All right.
Hawkrow.
I linked it the first time we played it and I talked about it. I'll link it again for you guys so you guys can check it out. Find it via my blog, thehakereport.com/blog, and it'll be in today's show summary. In case people don't know how to search that. Appreciate that, Dylan. It's a very nice intro. That's the Hake News intro. Let's play it. This is Hake News, and the intro courtesy of Dylan, a.k.a. Chakro Studios. Appreciate that, man. That's nice.
All right. And the reason I called is I have a story from yesterday.
Okay.
So when I came back from Illinois, my brother's wedding, I didn't have any money, but I wanted to drink some beer or something, so I was in Cedar Rapids, cruising around, found some people, and I stopped by, and about 35 black people. I was the only white guy there.
Wow.
And said, hey, I'll give you some smokes, you give me some beer, and so we did that, and this guy really got angry at me, and I'm like, what's wrong? He's talking about Jews. And I said, well, you don't like the Jews? He says, no, white people are fake Jews. Black people are the only real Jews, scattered to every part of the country.
That's terrible.
Crazy.
So you were talking to an angry Israelite.
Yeah.
There are some that are more sane or less insane than others, but a lot of them tend to be, the ones out in the forefront, very angry people. Very malicious.
Everybody else here is fine, and I'm some random guy here
right.
yelling at me about Jews.
That's wild that he would even come up with that, and it wasn't even a topic of discussion.
Yeah.
People, once they get something that they think of as knowledge, because those guys have a lot of knowledge, they'll quote the Bible, read on. Up and down, all over the place. Jesse's interviewed a few of them over the years, decades. And so, yeah, Bible thumpers. But they don't have the spirit. They don't have love, for sure. And they're just evil people. They're the ones that caused, they're the main troublemakers in the Covington kids. When the Covington kids, the Catholic kids, white kids got in trouble, they were the least offenders. The white kids were the least offenders. The black Hebrew Israelites cussing and saying so-called racist things at everybody were real evil. And then the true evil person was that Indian activist, American Indian activist, who played the victim and went into the white kids' area and played up the media lies that the white kids were being so-called racist against him. Crazy.
Yeah, so, I was just curious why this guy was all on this.
Anytime anybody comes up with, learns something like that seems so life-changing and earth-shattering and red pill knowledge that nobody else seems to know, or only a minority group of us really know, they become very prideful about it, and he's probably already trained. A lot of blacks are trained to believe in this racism thing, and so it's in adding injustice onto injustice and lies on lies. They think that the world is a lie, or the world is full of lies, which it is, but then they try to counter it with more lies, and people get on a trip sometimes, man. So I think that's what it is.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate you, Dylan.
My only issue is how you talk to those people.
Is what?
How you talk to those people.
Avoid it.
How you talk sense into them.
You can't. Some of them will, but don't try to reason with somebody that's unreasonable. Just be like, okay, and just de-escalate and
Well, I don't know, James.
walk
Jesse
away.
seems pretty good at doing that.
Well, I mean, yeah, but his show is based on, is for that purpose. You trying to have some beers with 30 blacks is not a good situation.
Yeah.
If somebody's belligerent like that.
All right.
You know that. You sound like you're reasonably street smart.
Yeah,
Not to get yourself in serious trouble, hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if I would go to 30 blacks and try to trade smokes for beers. But but you know that culture in the Midwest better than I do.
Yeah, well, I don't think many of my people I know would do that either.
Yeah. Well, be careful out there, Dylan. Nice to hear from you.
Right
Take care,
on.
man.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right. Dave, out of Houston, Texas, first-time caller. Thanks for holding, man. How are you, Dave?
Yeah, no problem. No, I'm doing great. How are you doing, James?
Fine, thank you.
Well, you look like you're doing fine.
Thank
Hey,
you.
listen, I just wanted to clear up one thing. It's just, one guy's opinion
Okay.
based on some experience. Really, Putin's treatment of Jehovah's Witnesses is a response to what people in Russia kind of wanted. They felt that they were interlopers, very family-oriented there, not like, what's happened here. And a lot of their family members were just disappearing from their lives, basically.
Oh, so they would become Jehovah's Witnesses and then abandon the family, like cut off the rest of the family who were not. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're encouraged. Yeah, they're encouraged to stay away from people who don't have similar beliefs, and they're really they really power that home there more than they do here.
Okay.
It's almost less of a cult here than it is there.
Yeah.
So, really, it's not Christianity that's
All right.
They suppress so much. But I just wanted to clarify that so people understand.
Yeah, I appreciate the alternative take on that, because that guy told me that, and he coupled it alongside the story from the past when his parents were still in Russia, that back when his parents were in Russia, under, I guess, the Soviet Union, the pastors would get 25 to life in prison. Just, you're a pastor, 25 to life, and they would just do these stings, go into people's homes and ransack. I don't know what all they would do. But he told me that story, and then I said, I'm curious about what kind of person Putin is, or what the take is by the people. So, yeah, I definitely accept. I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses do seem kind of odd. I've known some, and I definitely know that the Russia doesn't go for the LGBT thing, for example, which is anti-family, and so, or even really Islam. So they're protective of their culture, which is something that we could learn from. They may not do it perfectly.
So.
They may.
They do have a sort of history on that sort of thing, but just in this case, it's not like it was 35 years ago.
I appreciate that. How do you know this, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, I was raised when I know people who were involved in that over there who aren't over here anymore. So, but yeah, there's a history in Eastern Europe and in Soviet Union of there's outright Christian bans, but this doesn't really qualify as that. I just wanted to make sure people knew that.
Yeah. Cool, man. Appreciate it, Dave.
Yeah, let me. We'll say one thing about Jehovah's Witnesses. They're right about one thing.
Okay.
They don't believe that Jesus was God.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, Dave. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks, Dave.
Happy Men's History Month, by the way.
Hey, same to you. Happy Men's History Month.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Let me quickly get to some of my story, and then I will get to the callers, Maze and Mike and all you guys. Appreciate you holding. By the way, T-shirts. You can get Jesse Lee Peterson, Teespring, or the Fallen State Teespring, or Bond Rebuilding the Man Teespring, or the Hake Report Teespring, by going to, well, in the first three, jesseleepeterson.com. Scroll down, you'll see the banners. Or if you have a good memory, It's teespring.com/stores/Jesse Lee Peterson is one. Teespring.com/stores/Rebuilding the Man is the Bond one. And then the Fallen State one's a little weird. Teespring.com/stores/Shop the Fallen State. So those are good outlets where you can get cool designs. And mine is teespring.com/stores/The Hake Report. I need to get some more designs in. And I'm clapping like a black woman. Nice. And BitChute. We're on BitChute. All 4 of those channels are on BitChute. Jesse Lee Peterson, BitChute. BitChute.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And The Fallen State TV. And Rebuilding the Man. And The Hake Report. And Jesse Lee Peterson is really growing. Appreciate that, guys. And The Fallen State. All this stuff pretty much, including even the live streams, which BitChute doesn't tend to upload live streams, but for Jesse, they're doing it, and I appreciate that. Thank you, BitChute. It's more of a free speech video platform. That's why it's good to follow us there, because a lot of these people are not pro-free speech. Speaking of that, Bernie Sanders is evil. He pretends that he's going to save journalism. He had an op-ed, which means opinion piece, in the Columbia Journalism Review, which is I think of it as a far-left, intellectual, phony, liberal outlet. And he said, he quoted Walter Cronkite and such and such Joseph Pulitzer, and these people were liberals. They were activists. They pretended to be objective. I may be overstating it because they maybe were more objective than the so-called journalists are today, because today they're just a caricature of journalism, including more serious news sources, including AP, Associated Press, Reuters. These outlets are activist outlets that happen to have a lot of facts and be able to have a wide network of people that work for them and a lot of money, and photographers that they can go out and take cool pictures, gather cool facts, portray it in a way that they pretend that they're objective. They're not. They hate Trump. They hate men. They're pro-feminists. They're pro-LGBTQIA. They respect the false transgender pronouns. They kiss up to the illegal aliens. They don't call them illegal aliens anymore. They call them undocumented immigrants. So these people are not journalists. And Bernie Sanders wants to save that. But, and he trashes Donald Trump, talking about Trump making things far worse by calling the media what they are, which is the enemy of the people. And the media are that. Bernie Sanders is a liar. He supported Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement, both based on a bunch of lies and smears and hatred of men and whites and police. Bernie Sanders and the media smeared Donald Trump, the main truth teller in the government. The media promotes big lies, evil lies, terrible lies, destructive, divisive lies. The truth that Trump tells does divide some people, because there's a lot of people that fall for little lies or big lies. But the lies that the media and Bernie Sanders tell divide worse, because they're evil. And they promote hate, but it's in the fake name of love. Think about what the MSM has gone after, mainstream media. They've gone after Jesse, including the social media, by the way, and people like Bernie Sanders. They promote the false idea of hate speech. They falsely accuse Jesse Lee Peterson of hate speech, including even Good Morning Britain under Piers Morgan. They smeared Mike Cernovich, who's appeared on one Fox News show one time, and then there were all these hit pieces on him. Fake news, attacking him for being influential and telling the truth that they don't like. Glenn Greenwald and Michael Tracy and others are liberal journalists. They're not right about everything. They're liberals. But they told the truth about the Russia thing. They were smeared. And the real free press is freedom of speech by we the people and by the actual independent journalists. The media cracked down on that guy who shared that meme of Trump doing the smackdown on CNN months back or maybe a year ago. Remember that? Trump did he tackled a guy and it had a CNN logo as the guy's head. And it was a funny GIF or GIF, depending on your sensibility. And they doxed that guy. They are evil people. They lied about the Covington case. They lied about Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin. They allow people to say that Trayvon Martin was murdered and they never correct it. They're smear merchants. And they lie about the Trump saying that Nazis, so-called, were very fine people. People say it on their channels and nobody corrects it. They don't care about the truth. So, good riddance to so-called journalism and Bernie Sanders, who's not going to win the nomination. Anyways, I just wanted to mention that stuff. Maze out of Dayton, Ohio. How are you doing, Maze?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, James.
Nice to hear from you.
That young lady that said you have a baby, you have to get out of the military. That's not true. She don't know what she's talking about.
No. She said that you have a choice.
You don't have a choice, and you take leave just like you do on any other job, and then you come back to work.
Right.
So I don't know where she's coming from.
No,
she don't
she
need
told
to vote because she don't even understand what she's going.
I don't think you understood what she said.
Yes, I did.
All right.
But to get to my point, why? I mean, being a minority, why is it going to be so awful when you become one? I mean, that you're one.
I'll give you one good reason.
Okay.
Whites are the only group that, as a majority, vote for sane things such as Republicans.
Really?
Many Republicans are rhinos, and we've been fooled, hoodwinked. And so you can criticize us for that. But we do support, freedom, actual justice, sanity, the Constitution. We don't fall for the LGBT crap or abortion or, all this madness. We don't vote away the Second Amendment, especially white men. White men are like the most conservative, and it's not by much, to be honest. I think it's like 52%, 48%. So I guess we have a slim majority of sane people amongst whites, and all the other POCs, and maybe I'm misstating. I think maybe it's more like 55%. All right, go. That's one example of why whites becoming a minority is total destruction for America.
Was any of that godly that you just named off that list?
Huh?
Do you think God would approve of everything? What you just named off that list? Amendments and all this stuff, the right to kill people and steal from people, and all of that. You think He approved? Okay.
Yeah,
so you
because you just caricatured what I said. But anyways, go for it.
I have something to do with you becoming
Scarecrow.
a minority.
Yeah.
Huh?
Say that again.
Did you think God had something to do with you becoming a minority? Y'all group becoming a minority?
No, I don't think that.
Anywhere?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I was wondering if you did. And then that heathen you had on this, just had on
I think it's under God's law because we and everybody else have been violating God's law. And so everybody suffers. And the best way to make everybody suffer is to undermine white people, make them totally evil.
I'm asking you the question, what if He's punishing you?
Because at that point,
get angry with Him too?
Ain't no what if. Because at that point, then nobody has any sense of justice or fairness or truth. Because as a majority, the majority people are going to be dummies. That's why the left loves to pick at white people and turn them into white nationalists and white so-called supremacists
and all of that stuff. I see everything as the same,
Yeah, you don't believe in right and wrong.
He punished people.
You don't believe in right and wrong. You don't seem to believe in right and wrong. You support abortion.
I don't believe in calling people left and right and conservative and all of that.
I'm just using shorthand because everybody tends to know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Equally yoked, meaning what, James?
But you're part of the evil people. You support abortion.
Well, if you call me evil, that's your business. So,
yeah.
And if you have no evidence.
Yeah, I do. You support abortion. That's plenty of evidence.
You're evil. That's why you're screaming.
That's quite evil.
Because you're in the minority, not the majority anymore. And the global minority.
That's so shallow. That's so shallow, Maze.
All around the world. You can't run anywhere. I don't care how many people you bring into this country.
White people, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Hey, I'm going to make a quick point, Mace.
Did I commit a sin that God's punishing us for what we did?
All right, Mace, hold on.
What?
White people, from what I heard this rumor. Tell me, guys, if it's true, that white people are 15%, just 15% of the world population. And everybody hates the white people. Isn't that interesting?
Everybody hates the white people. The things that you do.
You hate white people? You hate white people. You hate it when white people talk like Jesse?
Where's the proof?
Because every time a white person tells the truth about blacks, you're like, y'all need to worry about what y'all doing. You also hate black people because you don't want black people to be told the truth about themselves either. So when white people tell the truth,
you don't like for a black person to tell you all the truth.
No, I don't mind it. No, I mean, yeah, sometimes I get annoyed when Jesse tells me the truth about myself. But I'm still here. You know, you can't trust angry people, so maybe eventually, hopefully I overcome that, so that way I can be a trustworthy person, a trustworthy white man. I don't care what you say, Maze, because you are what you accuse other people of being, a hypocrite.
Stay calm. I want Lockwood
and
heathen.
Yeah, you call Lockwood and heathen.
How bad people are treating Trump. Tell him to go back 3 years ago and let's hear everything he had to say about Obama.
Obama was pure evil.
Yeah, and that'll show what he really is.
Nope.
That's your opinion. And
it's the fact.
Do not count. Facts do.
No, it's the truth. You don't care about facts.
Yeah, that's your truth.
No. Are you an Oprah listener? It's not about your truth.
Am I who? I don't follow people.
All right. Maze,
I got a brain.
I got to rush. I got to rush out. I'll talk to you later. You have a good one.
For following people, stop following and be a leader.
All right. Brain power. You have a good day. Thank you.
Yeah, brain power.
All right. Mike, thanks for holding out of Atlanta, Georgia, first-time caller. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
No man is good, but I'm fine. Thank you.
I just had a comment about this new term going around, people of color.
Right.
It's really just a churched up way, dressed up way of saying colored people. I don't know how people don't get it or understand it, but they like to play the word game, you know.
And
that's about it.
And on top of that, it's a way of pitting all the other races against white people. The 85% against the 15%. Because whites are, I think, 15% of the population. I will have to look that up. I could be wrong. But I appreciate that, Mike. You're right. Colored people.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right. Take care. Kevin out of Connecticut. I'm rushing to the calls. Appreciate you guys calling in. First-time caller. Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Go for it.
Well, I was listening to you debate with these people. I think they're just downright ignorant.
Yeah, it's true.
How do you reason with even I'm not a Bible thumper or anything, but it does, like, when they do come up with the Bible. The thing is, the Bible says that God don't take pleasure in fools.
Yeah.
So, like, how can you sit? I try not to because it doesn't get nowhere. But my question would be is like these, and it's proven, like, majority of the church, right? If you look at it, the percentage of the church, like the blacks, the percentage of the blacks, they vote highly Democrat.
Right.
And then, like, if it's the white church, the majority of the white church votes for Republican.
Yeah.
But my question is, how is it that if they're born again believers and they're sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, supposedly, and they're supposed to be true Christians, how can you vote for Democrats when they all are against what you believe?
It's a really good question. I don't think that they consider it. I think that I think that it's about opposing anything that white people are for. They're tricked into that. And then they've also been brainwashed to accept this civil rights movement, which had a lot of communism mixed in with it and socialism. Mm-hmm. So they fall for that. They have more of a socialist, communist mindset without even realizing it in some cases. I appreciate it, Kevin. Take care. Alex and everybody else, I'm sorry I can't get to you guys. I will be back tomorrow on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show and on the Hake Report, 9 a.m. All right. Support Bond and support Jesse. We are moving, and we give out a lot of free stuff, free content, and we got to move. And so support Bond. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/donate. 800-411-BOND. It's a good cause to support. I support. And you should too. Maybe many of you guys do, and I definitely appreciate that. And so does God. All right? Take care.